I shared with them. And at this moment, I cannot recall the words that I said, but I'm clear that I wanted them to know that there was hope. Because I remembered that Sunday. I remember that God gave us an opportunity to go together, to share together, to say, I love you. But you know what the most powerful thing about that day was? There was a sermon that was preached about forgiveness, forgiving yourself and forgiving others, and rededicating your life to God. Who was at the altar that day? My sister and my brother. You see, that Sunday, not only did he learn to forgive himself, to forgive those who had hurt him, but he had a recommitment, a dedication with God. See, the strength came from knowing that God gave him an opportunity to get it right again. And at that moment, I realized that he was separate from me, but he was with my Father. And what greater place could he be? Me? Upset and mad because God decided to take him home? I should have been celebrating. Because at that moment, when I realized that God was so precious and he was so amazing and so understanding, that he decided that he would not let another opportunity pass where he would not be able to bring his son home with him. You know what? God loved him more than I could love him. He loved him more than any of us standing around the room, the hundreds of people that said wonderful things, that sent flowers to us, that showed up in my darkest hour. God loved him more than us. I knew at that moment that I needed to stand strong, that I needed to stand in a place of authority and tell people that there is hope in this journey. I had no idea at that time that my birthplace of my pain would bring forth my purpose. You see, it was my birthplace. All of the pain, all of the hurt, the discouragement that I was experiencing brought forth my purpose. I had to push past that pain of where I had been. The 2 years prior, the journey to get from here to there, only to discover that pain was happening again. I had to push past that. Isn't it amazing how you can take something so dark and so sorrowful, trust it, put it in the hands of your master, and he will make it beautiful for you. He will redesign it. He will recraft it. He will make all things work together for your good. That's what I love. That's what I love about him. Because what I learned is that that little voice that used to call me and say, I just called to say, I love you. Yes. Guess what? I can still hear it because I chose to keep it as a part of me. And so whenever I get discouraged or I get sad and I feel like I can't go on, or when I feel like the task is too hard, or even when I feel afraid to do the things that I know that I am being called powerfully to do, for me to stand here and share with you this message that I've never shared publicly with anyone and declare that I am better for it. You know, I am the sum total of all of my experiences, whether they were good or bad, and losing and loving and having. I would never have felt that kind of pain had I not known the depth of the love that I experienced. I don't know what your struggle is. I don't even know where you're at in your life right now. And by the time you get this message, I don't even know if you're going to be able to hear me. But I want to do a shaking and a waking. I want to wake up you tonight. I want to wake you up. I want to push you again. I want to be your midwife. I want to help you give birth to your purpose. I want to encourage you that the world is waiting on you, your gift, your talents, and your abilities. I know it's hard. I know it's tough. But just like I stood there and I played in his hair and I cried through it, God gave me the strength to accept and to love everything that was happening in my life at that time. I still don't have all the answers. But I realized that it's not about getting the answers. It's about having the understanding and the peace that God loves me. And he loves those who I love. There's power when you release yourself. When you release all of the things, all of the emotions that are blocking you or holding you back. When you get out of your own way, you see that the world actually does need you. I remember fighting through it because I had 2 children that did not stop. The demands of my life did not stop because I was hurting or because I was grieving. Everything kept going and demanding, calling forth my purpose, keep coming, tugging and pulling at me. And guess what? Eventually, even though it would still hurt, I still moved forward. Because the joy is knowing that I made them proud. And so every day that I get up, I stand in my mother's virtue. And I use my brother's courage to keep going forward. And as the doors keep opening of my possibilities, I am walking stronger and more powerful in them. And so can you. Don't allow your pain, your hurt, your disappointment to stop you from doing the things that you know you need to do. I want to encourage you that if it's just a small step, you're moving in the right direction. Go powerfully in the direction of your dreams, even if you're hurting. Because I promise you that along the way, the peace, the joy, the understanding that you need is there. You have some fight left in you. So I'm encouraging you to fight through it, live through it, pray through it. Because the world is waiting on you. We need you and all of your brilliance. And you can be a co-creator with God and watch how He redirects your life. You have no idea what's waiting for you. But I'm not going to allow you to stop. I love you. And I'm praying with you. And I'm believing for you. Take care.